Coming to you live from Sony Hall. I'm back with my friend Pryce Taylor, heavyweight prospect from Brooklyn. Pryce, what's going on with you, man? How you been?
Yeah, everything good. I've been good. Training hard.
So we haven't seen you since you were just going out to Detroit to start training with Sugar Hill Stewart, training at Kronk, getting some of that new work in. How was that experience for you, and what were some of the things you learned during that time?
I learned a lot about just footwork and getting to know how to, keep the distance and working on my range and just using my feet more, working on my slips and being able to counter better. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. But I couldn't really do anything. I was limited because my foot popped my Achilles. I don't know if I told you that before.
You popped your Achilles?
Yeah, I popped my Achilles, but it's been healing, and I haven't been able to
use it. Did you tear it?
Partial tear.
Wow.
Yeah, so I haven't been able to use it. So I've been fighting on my leg for the past 6 months.
That's a serious injury, bro.
Yeah, I went straight into boxing, right back into it because I couldn't sit down because the only way I can get paid is by fighting. So I made sure I had to fight a certain way. I had to change my style just so I can fight. So.
How do you feel like that affected the Sims fight? Because there's no way that's not going to affect your performance, but
yeah.
You seemed light on your feet, you seemed like the combinations were flowing, but how did you feel like it affected how you fought?
The only thing it affected was just me. I looked light, but I could have been even lighter. I couldn't use my toes. I had to be on my whole foot. That was a bummer. But my foot's better now, so you're going to be able to see me much lighter, more agile. I'm going to be able to work out better, do what I need to do to actually get in shape for,
So that was an injury you were dealing with when we were filming?
Yeah.
Wow, man. You were poker facing the shit out of that.
Yeah, exactly. It happened in last August.
Gotcha.
And it hasn't healed properly because I was fighting on it.
Right.
But
and you're doing the Team Combat League.
Right, I was doing all that. Yeah, but I ended up going back to the doctor and checked it out. They said it was healed, but it was a lot of scar tissue. I had to get the scar tissue out, and that was it.
So, how did you feel about your performance? Obviously, now knowing the injury, right? You didn't do everything that we know you can do.
Right.
But how did you feel in the ring, and how did you feel about the performance?
It was easy. It was. I wasn't even hurt, and it was easy. Heather's over here.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's up, Speedy?
Thanks, Pryce.
Yeah. How you doing? No, my fight was easy. It was easy. A lot of people don't know why I'm fighting a certain way. It's not in my head. They want to see a certain way, but at the end of the day, the point of the game is to win. You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm winning, that's all that matters. And that's what I did.
And you got basically a sweep against the best opponent that you had to date.
Right.
What did you feel like people wanted to see from you that they weren't getting from you?
They wanted a knockout just because of the shape he was, but they don't know that just because you look a certain way doesn't mean you can't fight. He was slippery.
Yeah.
He wasn't a heavyweight at first. He was a cruiserweight. I feel like people just want what they want. And they're not watching for everything else. They didn't see how agile I was, the combinations I put together, all the punches I was landing. And at the end of the day, they still don't know how hard I hit, for real.
I'll be honest too, it kind of felt like they wanted you to be angry or something.
Right.
And having met you and spent some time in the gym with you, that's just not your personality.
Yeah, I'm not an angry person. I don't need to be angry to win a fight. Because as long as I win, that's all that matters.
Any thoughts, because it just happened this last weekend, any thoughts on Terence Crawford's history-making performance against Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, I wish I was able to bet. But I knew Crawford was going to win. He proved to everybody that he's the best, and he let his hands go. He wasn't holding his hands back. He's a fighter at heart, and you can see just based off how he fought. He was a thinker. He knew that he was in there with someone that with a very good resume, but resume doesn't mean anything if you're not a good fighter. Canelo's a good fighter, but obviously you can see Crawford's way better. Even from coming from a jump weight.
That's always what's been amazing about Crawford is seeing he's in with like the other best guy and he's always a level above, if not 2 levels above. It's been amazing to watch. We just watched George Arias get a unanimous decision over Earl Newman. What'd you think of George's performance in that fight?
It was a good performance against Earl. Earl hasn't been in, he's not in really good shape. He's not a heavyweight. If he fights an actual heavyweight that has good skills, I think he wouldn't do as well. Speaking of myself, I feel like his next fight should be me. We should get in the ring and make some money.
Do you have any idea? Obviously, we know that you hope it's against George Arias, but do you have any sense of when you'll get to be back in the ring?
No, I don't have any sense. Definitely this year. Before the year ends, I'll be fighting.
So we get one more in 2025.
1 or 2, hopefully.
All right. Brooklyn's finest heavyweight, Pryce Taylor. Pryce, appreciate your time, bro.
Thank you.